Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeve, Tom Welling, Brandon Routh, and Dean Cain. This is a list of all the actors that have taken on the role of Superman, but none of them has successfully embodied what Superman is in the way that Tyler Hoechlin has. This brings us to the season finale of Superman and Lois. This episode itself was full of all the reasons why Clark Kent chooses to become Superman. The writing, the performances, all these things were prevalent in this episode, and it set the bar extremely high for anything that the CW has to offer going forward. The emotional element of the show really digs its hooks in as you get deeper into the season and deeper into the episode. If you've been keeping up with the show, you know that Clark loses his powers at some point, and he basically has to cope with not being able to save the world as Superman. This is the point where Tyler Hoechlin's performance stands out and is possibly his best performance in the show to date. He manages to both captivate with the desperation of not being able to save the world because of his loss of powers, as well as filling the audience with hope and solidifying his role as the best version of Superman we have ever gotten. They even managed to toss in a reference to Superman Prime at some point in the episode. This final episode, it was all about hope. And the entire cast, they put on one hell of a performance. Now, Clark, he wasn't the only hero of the episode. You got Nat and you have John Henry. They also had a hand in this episode at bringing all the hope and all the despair to life within this episode. They both sacrifice and they endure so much emotional turmoil, and they have so many emotional moments that could bring a tear to anyone's eye. The bond that they have is probably one of my favorite elements of the show. And Jordan, he also had his hero moment. This is what puts Jordan on the path to grow into the hero that he needs to be. Clark, in this instance, had to trust in Jordan to get the job done because there was no one else that could do it. Just like a parent raising a child, at some point they will leave your protection to become their own person, and this was Jordan's moment. The show does a really good job at developing the characters and the relationships in a meaningful way in almost every single episode. This is why Superman and Lois has been my favorite Superman experience thus far. In this instance as well, even Taro had his redemption moment. Although it was probably, in my opinion, the weakest part of the episode, it still moved the plot forward because it served as the catalyst for Jordan to step up and become the hero of the episode. This is what the show does at its best, at its core. It takes the small moments and it makes them meaningful every chance it gets. Now that the show is tied into the Arrowverse, I'm curious as to see which direction they're going to take season 3, with the tie-in of John Diggle at the end, who in this world is the Green Lantern. The possibilities are endless right now for the show and the story that they're trying to tell, with the introduction of new threats and new characters and things like that. There's so many different things that they can do with this story. There's Lex, there's Darkseid, there's all these other elements that we have yet to see. And I just hope that they don't pull a Zack Snyder and waste such good villains as Darkseid, as Lex, as Doomsday, and tell the story that they need to tell. The writers at this point have been on par with some of the great writers in the movie industry, and they just have to stay on track and continue to produce high quality content. And as of right now, their track record for this season going forward is really good. Everyone in the show, however, doesn't have a happy ending. The Cushing family, they still have a long road ahead of them. This family is a direct contrast to the Kents and their family stability. The Cushings are the balance to the show, and the writers are doing a really good job at bringing these characters to life. The finale was a solid conclusion to the season in every single way. It answers a lot of questions while also raising more as to the direction that they're going to go with for season 3. This has been my definitive experience for a Superman property, And I truly hope that anyone that's a fan of Superman or just comics in general give the show a shot. And you don't even have to like Superman to love the show, because at its core, it's just a really good superhero property. Anybody that's a fan of these things that isn't watching the show, you are sorely missing out. And I do hope you take the time just to give it a shot. It's only 2 seasons deep, and the conclusion of this last season was above and beyond anything I could ask for in this episode or this season in general. But with that said, guys, my name's Lincoln. This is the RPG Show, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.